back at the bar. We are back at the bar. Let me go back to full cam here on my YouTube channel. Hope everyone is well on this Thursday night, the day before the Friday, which is the start of the weekend. Hope you had a great week. I have had a rather productive week myself, and I thought I would continue the show that we did on male improvement yesterday because I had not gotten all the things out, and we had discussed certain things like Indeed getting a second job, Indeed getting a scent game, Indeed cleaning up your place and having it smell nice for the special somebody, and also moving forward with your finances. So yes, indeed, thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. I've been talking about it, people. Duntalk is out with their spring summer line, and it is here is one of the samples that I received again today. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. I think it looks hot, actually, and it's great for the spring and summer. I'll be sporting these going forward. Indeed, just want to turn on the speaker here, and we are back. We are live here on Talk Live. So thank you for joining me here. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com, DUNTALK.com. Yeah, I got some shocking news today that one of my colleagues at my place of work will be leaving soon, and it dropped like a goddamn bomb. And that's why I say you got to get comfortable with uncomfortability, really. And it came as a shock to me, but again, he's moving on to pastures new in the next couple of weeks, and he said it took 24 hours for the move. And sometimes you got to be that adaptable. You have to be that agile in this job market in order to get what you want. And he didn't see what he was getting at our current place of employment, and he moved on within 24 hours because he is that good. So shout out to him. I will keep his name and his and our firm out of the limelight because I don't want anybody prying in on my private affairs, quite simply. But again, we are back. We are live here on Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live here today. And again, we're getting on with male improvement on this Thursday, day before Friday, and I didn't feel that I fully completed the explanation and the show with regards to male improvement. Not male enhancement. That's a whole other thing altogether. No, male improvement and how to be a better man in 2023. So I thought I'd continue it here tonight. Tonight I got my water here today. Yesterday I had a little inebriation and a little, and I think it got me off my game there. So I'm going strictly teetotal today. So I have done that, but I thank you for joining me tonight on Talk Live, wherever you're watching here and around the world. So let's get on to it. Let me go back to my browser here. We were indeed speaking with the man, the myth, the legend, the saint, R.I.P., Godfather Kevin Samuels yesterday about male improvement and male enhancement. And I remember before he eviscerated and checked a lot of females out there, what Kevin Samuels was known for was being an image consultant and for being a man who preached male improvement. And he did that for about 3-4 years before he got onto the ladies, and he reached his nadir. He reached his peak, but there were further peaks to climb. But unfortunately, he could not do it in this lifetime. And again, R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels. But we're going to continue on with things here on Talk Live. Thank you for joining me about his. It was his show dealing with grown damn man training. Indeed, things your father should have taught you. I know my father taught me a few of these things, and I'm still learning from him to this day. Thank goodness he's still alive to teach me a few things going forward, including my mother, of course, but definitely my dad, because you should be learning from a male father figure, male role model, or your dad on how to be a man. So again, it's always important to do that. But again, if you have the guy like Kevin Samuels in your corner teaching you things, hey, all the better too. So let me just continue from where we left off yesterday. But again, as I explained, he had already gone into getting a second job, getting having a scent game at least. Also, getting in the gym. There's another thing that needs to be said. You need to get into the gym at least 3 times a week. Get 2.5 hours of cardio as per the guru Greg Doucette, who's always set that forward. Anyways, at least a half hour of cardio per day will do it, as I have been doing it, and I've been seeing results actually. And also, you need to have your place clean. You need to clean your guys. Guys. You need to have your house clean, just the way you have your car clean. And he also mentioned that not only having your car clean, but also having your house clean. You need to have a house that women will love to come home to, and also have it smelling right, smelling good. If you have a bathroom that looks better, or it smells better than your female counterparts, you're onto a good thing. If it's more inviting to for a woman to be in your residence, they won't want to leave. And I, believe me, have the proof of that as of this week. Anyways, some ladies don't want to leave your bathroom in certain circumstances, and I have been gifted. I have been gifted the blessing of having a pretty darn good bathroom. But anyways, I'm not gonna reveal it here. So again, to those who know. If they don't, well, let them tell the story. Anyways, so it's always good to have a clean house. Always have a good smelling house. Always have a good bathroom, looking bathroom, smelling bathroom. At least a clean bathroom, so that women do not feel, irked, or basically grossed out by what you have at your home. So do take care of that. And we're going to continue into certain things right here with Kevin Samuelson. We're getting into other experts as well. So let's continue right now.
Baseboards and the blinds and all that shit, the shit that nobody wants to do, man, that's important, especially in the springtime. Do the ceiling fans and all that other shit. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Somebody tell me I'm lying. All right. Let me see what's going on in the chat room.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit here.
What I'm seeing is a lot of brothers are feeling that.
Oh.
And the thing is, you build up to it. You start by taking care of you. Then you take care of the things that are yours. Your car is your car. Take care of it. Your place is your place. Again, keep the floors clean. Carpet shampoo. Hold up. Let me back up. Sorry, I'm back up. Clean your goddamn bathroom. Nigga. Wash that pissy ass rug around the toilet. Keep Clorox wipes next to the toilet. Power wash that motherfucking toilet. You got caked on piss and urine back up under that motherfucker from the night you had too many Heinekens. You can't smell your own piss until it gets real bad. We can. You wanna close some pussy up quick? Have a fucked up bathroom.
He's absolutely correct here. Before I invite a lady anywhere near my place, I have my toilet clean. Before I invite any guests near my place, I have my toilet clean. Every single time. If there is a stray amount of piss anywhere near my toilet, yes, get that cleaned up. Actually, get your hands dirty. If you want to put some gloves on while you do it, please do. But at the end of the day, clean that toilet. A woman, let alone your friends, let alone your woman, should not be coming to a dirty toilet. Nothing kills the mood more than a dirty toilet. Dirty toilet. That's one thing that I was taught from a very young age, is to be clean, especially in the bathroom department. There's no doubt about that. If you don't clean that bathroom, if you don't clean that toilet especially, but also, hey, let me say this. what a lot of women do, especially when they're in your toilet, if you have a shower area in there, they check there too. Oh, they'll inspect. Believe me. They won't just walk in and out. They will inspect that shower area. And if you are showing signs of dirt and lack of care in that area, they ain't gonna trust you. But let's say you do get lucky that night and they need a shower before they go home. Where are they gonna go? Where are they gonna go? They're gonna go to your bathroom. And let me say this, in my bathroom, when they are there, believe me, they don't want to leave. They do not want to leave. I keep my bathroom cleaner than a woman's bathroom. I know this. I'm very thorough in that respect. Very, 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 very thorough. And women check on these things. Believe me, they check. They check to see if you're a clean human being. And as Kevin said, if you have rugs in that bathroom, make sure they're clean. If not, if they're dirty, just be rid of them. Just get rid of them. Don't have any rugs on the ground. Don't have any. Just get rid. But you need to vacuum the floor in that bathroom, absolutely. Especially if there are hairs straggling around or anything. Especially if you have guests arriving. Make sure your bathroom is clean. At the very least. At the very, very least.
Clean that fucking toilet. This is where you get the maid to come in and clean it right, and then you maintain that shit. Every Saturday morning, you need to go in there with the fucking power washer and just dump some fucking Lysol and do like your mama used to do. Throw some Pine Sol on that shit, let it soak, let it marinate, open the goddamn windows, and then clean the goddamn tub. If you niggas don't start cleaning your bathtub, how the fuck are you standing in the mud, taking a bath? Clean your damn tub. Clean that fucking shower mat thing and clean the shower grip. Change your shower liner. Clean the wall. Wipe off the soap scum. Your bathroom needs to look like a chick's as far as cleanliness, but it needs to look like a man as far as masculinity. Your counter. Oh, your mirror. Nigga, if you don't get all that toothpaste off your mirror, if you don't get all the spots and shit off your mirror, nigga, really? If your shit don't get organized, if you don't go to Marshall's and spend $19.99 and get you a toothbrush holder, a cup, and you know, just that little basic shit. If you don't go get you a little vase and put some marbles in it or some rocks or some shit over there in the corner, so just some cool masculine shit, just and to keep that shit clean. And when you clean the countertop, you gotta move all the shit off your countertop. Don't wipe around it. Move the shit off, wipe around it.
What did I say? What did I say? When you have when you have a bathroom that a woman doesn't want to leave, when you have a bathroom that's better than hers, believe me, it's hard to lose a chick like that. It's hard. Unless you're living in total poverty, it's hard to lose a chick like that. Very hard. Especially if your bathroom is cleaner than their bathroom. And I know my bathroom is cleaner than her bathroom. Because when she walked in, the lady I'm dating right now, when she walked in there, she said, "This is cleaner than my own." That's a compliment, gentlemen. That is a compliment. That is a bald-faced compliment. When your bathroom area is cleaner than their own. That is instantly big brownie points with the ladies. Big brownie points. And they walk in there, they feel safe, they feel clean, they feel sanitary, they feel like they don't want to leave. I learned that from an early age. Treat them mean, keep it clean. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a little joke in there. I threw it there. But anyways, you got to keep it clean, guys. You got to keep that bathroom clean. Actually, dig down deep. Once a month. Once a month. I mean, every weekend I make sure the toilets are clean. But once a month, I do a full shower roundup. A full bathroom roundup. vacuuming, dusting, everything once a month. So that it is spotless. No housekeeper can match my skills in terms of cleaning. When I want to get there, I get there. I get deep. I get deep. I get deep cleaning. And then people will say, oh, that's a woman's job. No, it's not a woman's job. Especially when you're courting a woman. It's not a woman's job. It's your job. When you're courting a woman, when you want to impress a woman, impress her by how clean your place looks. How inviting you want it to be. When they walk into this place, it's a sanctuary. It's their home away from home. Now, and you'll find out. You'll realize you can't get rid of a woman that way. You can't get rid of them. You'll never be able to get rid of them if your place is cleaner than their place. Because if their place is dirty, believe me, they want to spend time at your place. It's like food. If your dish looks scrumptious, looks more delicious than their dish, guess what they're doing? They're eating off your plate. In this instance, you want them eating off your plate. Especially when it comes to cleanliness now. Now, again, they're going to have to, you bring them to boot camp. You say, if we're doing this thing together, there'll be some rules and regulations going on down. I said it myself. There'll be some rules and regulations how a clean a place looks. Because if your girl's place looks nowhere near yours, oh, believe me. You want that peace, that serenity, that organization, that cleanliness to be carried on. And so, gentlemen, you got to be the example here. Because certain ladies, they don't know how to get it together in that department. And if you can, be the man.
And when you think you've done a good enough job, do it again. Because of that. Because we nasty. We miss shit. God's sake.
I don't miss shit.
Keep a plunger nearby, because you know how you like to take them King Kong shits. The plunger nearby. Drop some Tidy Blue or Simply Blues or whatever in the back of the shit, and that shit there to where the water turn blue, and keep one of the little funky things in there to where every time you flush it, it freshens the bowl. Trust me, bro. Where's the brother that sends me the soap and the room spray? This is where you need to actually get you some Febreze and a candle and a match. Yeah, you need to the bathroom needs to be good, man. The bathroom needs to be good. You need to be able to eat out of your bathroom. Real talk.
Here's a little hack I have for my bathroom. If you have an unused fragrance, like cologne that you have sitting around, put it in the bathroom. Put it there. Use it. Let them use it. When a woman comes in and smells that scent in the bathroom, it smells like, let's say, Polo Ralph Lauren. Let's say, I'm trying to use some discounted. So, yeah, CK Shock. Just everyday, run-of-the-mill, you're not using cologne. Put it in the bathroom so they can use it as an air freshener. Just slap an air freshener sign on that. They will thank you for it because that bathroom smells like a man. Like a clean, fresh smelling man. Nautica Voyage. Put that in the bathroom. That's my hack. Any cheap fragrance, spray it 1, 2, 3 times whenever you're finished using it. Or if they're finished using it, just tell them to spray it 1, 2, 3 times. Believe me, they'll thank you for it. Because that's a different type of smell that comes out of that bathroom. One that's clean, that's fresh, that's welcoming. And sometimes it goes better than the air freshener does. It's true. You don't want that aerosol type stuff, but that sort of thing spread in the air smells way better than aerosol can, aerosol freshener or any sort of. Well, you get Febreze, you can put that there, but even so, I think it lasts longer than that. So that's just a hat.
Real talk. If you can do this, you'll be good. Cause you can be a lame nigga. You can be a lame dude, but if you keep your shit clean, she'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
She'll fuck with you. I'm telling you, she'll fuck with you. She'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I can work with this dude. Why, girl? His bathroom smell clean. She'll fuck with you. The other.
Again, you'll probably get 2 or 3 more encounters by just having your stuff clean. To have something that welcomes her to your abode. As long as you keep your stuff clean. If you have everything around the house, if you have piss and crap stains everywhere, you don't clean your bathroom, and she don't want to come back, you'll never get another opportunity. Absolutely not. But if you keep your stuff clean, they will keep coming back. You can't get rid of them. You can't. That's an easy 2 to 3 more encounters. More interludes with them. Make no mistake about it. If they know your stuff's clean, they'll want to come back again and again and again. The Lord knows if you can cook for them. Oh shoot, we ain't even go there.
Side up. Gotta keep the refrigerator clean too. Yeah, nigga, you gotta keep the refrigerator. You got jelly stains and shit, and sticky shit all throughout the refrigerator. No, man, no. You need to take them damn shelves out, put them in the sink, apply some hot water, soap, and some effort. Clean that shit. Power wash that entire motherfucking refrigerator. Get them lettuce chunks, bacon bits, leftover tomato bites, old Parmesan cheese, unused ranch dressing, fucking spoiled milk, dry ass olives. You need to just clean all that shit out. From the top down. Clean it all out, clean the trays out, start over. And organize your shit. That's right, nigga, organize it. I'm not talking about some OCD kind of shit with the labels on it, but it needs to have some organization to it. Because you're a grown goddamn man. You don't need to have juice boxes, and you don't have kids, so you ain't got to have juice boxes and string cheese and shit everywhere. Make it look like a fucking man, to where you can at least go grab the olives and cheese and whipped cream and whatever the fuck you got in there. It needs to be organized.
True.
Clean that goddamn freezer. Nigga, you ain't ate that dressing that your mama gave you 6 months ago. Throw that shit out. If you don't take that goddamn birthday cake out of there from your last birthday or whatever and get rid of that shit. If you don't know what's in the aluminum foil, nigga, get rid of it.
Truth. You have to make sure your fridges are clean. At least once a quarter. At least once a quarter, go through your refrigerators, through your freezers, through your bar fridges, and have a clean out. Yes, he's right. He's absolutely right. You gotta have a place that you can easily find the things you want. But also, if a woman ever enters your place and she's, making you a congratulatory breakfast, that they're within reach, and she doesn't have to be, weirded out by what you have in there. Any expired milk or any expired foods or anything in the fridge or in the freezer. You need to have a clear out every 3 months. Yes, every quarter. Have a clear out. Yes, absolutely. Unless your fridge is constantly full, and even then, you got to clear it out. At least once a quarter.
That ice that's in the ice maker, that you're allowed to fill up too much, dump it. Because it's got freezer burn. And it tastes like shit. Dump it. And then put your ice maker on the lowest setting to only make the ice you need. Clear out all the shit that you ain't using. The shit that it expired, get rid of it. Carry your ass over to the pantry and do the same thing. If you still got ramen noodles in there from college, get rid of them. See, men cannot do pack rat shit like women do. We gotta keep our shit minimal. Keep all this shit clean. Just get rid of it. If there's any question, just throw it away. Because when your kitchen is clean, organized, when somebody goes into your utensils drawer, and you actually have a utensils holder and your silverware is stacked the right way, when your counter is clean, to where you rub your hand across it, you don't feel coffee grounds and salt and pepper, and you can do like this and it doesn't get stuck because you have some fucking syrup or some shit there. Man, all this kind of shit says stuff to people. And you too.
One thing that I insist on every night, gentlemen, every single night, is making sure that all my dishes are put away. Every night. I see it as a sign of uncleanliness to have dirty dishes in the sink. That is my pet peeve. I cannot stand it to see dirty dishes in the sink the following day. It just drives me up the wall. Drives me up the proverbial wall. Not only do I make sure the dishes are clean, but also make sure the dishes are put away. To where both sides of your sink, your kitchen sink, are clean. And not only that, wiping down countertops to make sure that any sort of stains, wiping down the refrigerator handles, making sure there are no stains on that either. That doesn't stick anyway, anyhow. You gotta do that too. You gotta do that too. Goes without saying.
That's why I say sometimes it's better just bring in a housekeeper, a maid, and let them do a spring cleaning, and you just maintain the shit. Am I lying? Yeah, it was like, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, you know? Grown damn man shit. If you don't get rid of all them fucking paper cups, plastic cups from Five Guys Burgers and the Snack Shack and all that shit, get rid of all them fucking advertisement for everybody else. Get rid of that shit. Get you 8 glasses, 8 shot glasses. You know, get a set of dishes. Matching plates, matching side plates, matching bowls.
Yeah.
Get your shit to match. Get rid of all that plastic shit. Every last bit of it. All of it. Get you a nice knife set. Carbon steel is better. Get you a coffee maker. K-cup dispenser preferably. Telling you, man, when you start doing shit at this level, then you can start actually having people over and entertaining. Oh, you don't want to drink? How about some coffee? Espresso? What do you like? Pot sets. I'm gonna get to that. But most dudes don't cook. But when you do start cooking, your pots need to match. Thing is, man, you start with the end in mind. Because you know when you've been in somebody's kitchen and it's look nice, you're like, damn, this kitchen is cool as fuck. That's you.
Yep.
That's you. Because, gentlemen, we're minimalist ridiculous living when we get to these areas. But you talking about you want a rotation and all this other kind of stuff. Your place needs to be a place they're looking forward to going to. Your place needs to be Disneyland like. Yeah.
Here's the thing, gentlemen. He's right on all counts. You need to have your, you have your own plates. I mean, ceramic plates, real cutlery, stainless steel cutlery, your own pots and pans. But you need to have, as I read in GQ many years ago, you need to have 5 dishes that you can call your own, that you can make at a moment's notice. Saying because especially if you're single, especially if you have a company coming over, you want to cook for them. You need to have 5 dishes that you can call on and make at a moment's notice. Yeah, because if you want to impress a female, you gotta let a girl know that you want them, but you don't need them. You want them, yes. You want the fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive woman, but you got to show that you're not necessarily in need of them. If they are going to be a part of your life, then they have to add on to what you're doing. So they can't come in here not being able to cook. No. And added to that you must be able to cook yourself so that you can show her that you aren't at her mercy. You're not at her mercy. You need to show her that. You got to have 5 dishes you can call your own, in addition to other things that you can make for breakfast, lunch, dinner, that sort of thing. You got to show that you can survive by yourself. She's just here to add on. And she must add on. She can't come in here. Well, again, we're focusing on men. We're focusing on men. We're focusing on the men. You need to have 5 dishes that you can call for yourself, that you can make by yourself. Yes, you order in things from time to time, and especially when you're hungry, especially when you're desperate, especially when you're constantly working. But there's another thing. You need to start cooking in bulk. If you're gonna make, you're gonna need to make things that'll last for 2-3 days long. You need to have a bunch of rice. You need to have your carbs. You need to have your proteins. You need to have your greens, all easily pulled out. If not, already boxed up, already prepped, already ready to go. You can pull out, especially if you are health conscious, especially if you are in trying to plan out a calorie deficit. You need to have meals already prepped and ready to go. Ready to go. Either you get somebody to make it or you make it yourself. And that may take, half a day to a day to get done, but that'll carry you through the week. Once you have that, it makes it so much easier. You come home after a long day's work, things are available, things are ready, you move on. Until you get that significant other who can help on to that, but other than that, you need to have that ready. When I was in England, that's what I used to do when I was in England, even here, I used to do it all the time. Have my meal prepped out for the next 2, 3, 4 days. So I don't have to keep cooking every single night. It saves you money too.
Someplace that you also enjoy being. In your bedroom. Get a set of sheets, niggas. Not that cheap shit. I say get you a satin pillowcase for the women's hair. But you need to get some nice sheet with a high thread count. With a bed pad between your mattress. See, the thing is, I believe in getting a good bed. I'm not gonna show you my bedroom. I don't like taking people throughout my house. What does your bedroom look like? what you're seeing on the screen is kind of like what I had, except right here, like around here, there's lights on the undercarriage of the bed, and right here there's slits with lights. So when the light is off, you can just see the bed looks like it's floating on some light. It's low profile to where, you know, and it's a king size bed. So I love this. I love that color. See, that's masculine. That looks cool. You want to make sure you have a good bed. How much is the mattress you're sleeping on? How much did you spend for the mattress you're sleeping on?
We're gonna speed up past that again, but you need to get a bed. You need to get a set. You need to get something that you can call your own. That is masculine and that allows you to sleep well. Simple as that. You can't be on the couch forever, so you need to have that done.
How many of you guys know how to furniture shop?
He's gonna get into furniture shopping here. I'll just speed it up a bit. But yeah, you need to have a good set of furniture. Absolutely. Yes.
I think I have it on here anymore. Now that you don't know exists, this is how a cat like AMS can build up his rotation. This is how, you build up that kind of stuff because everything about you needs to say grown damn man. That's what it does. And there is a difference between a grown damn man, a man, an adolescent, a teenager, and a boy. And one of the first things I said when I came over to the Manosphere side of YouTube is drop the Jordans. We got too many guys dressing like boys. How would they know if you go to the mall, look at a 40-year-old man and a 5th grader, now can you tell who's who? Because they're both in graphic tee, jeans, and ball cap and tennis shoes. That piss dudes off. But I didn't tell a lie. What I was really saying is there's levels to this shit, gentlemen. You can decide what it is you want. And here's the thing, especially for a lot of you dudes who talk about you want beautiful women. If you want a 7, 8, 9, same talk about 10. If you want a 7, 8, or 9, you're gonna have to have, because 7 is pretty, you're gonna have to have your shit together. When you have women that are pretty, guys holler. And you want to be the upgrade. Like I said last night, if you didn't see that stream, go watch it. You want to be the one she upgrades to. Instead of worrying about women cheating and women, female nature, hypergamy, when you are the upgrade, you don't worry about all that other kind of stuff. She fucks up, makes a mistake, next.
Truth be told, gentlemen, as Kevin referred to there, if you're going to be an adult, you got to dress like an adult. Yes, there are too many men in their 40, 50, 60 still dressing like they're in their teens and 20s. You need to have at least one suit. One suit. It could be cheap. It could be run-of-the-mill, as long as it's, I would say, either a charcoal gray or navy blue that you can call on at a moment's notice for any occasion. And not just a jacket, I mean a suit. A full-length suit. Jacket and trousers. One. For me, I have a higher standard, so I need to have 5 that I can run through. And usually they run from pinstripe gray, pinstripe and a non-pinstripe and flat gray, black. I wouldn't say black. I would say gray and black. Those are 4. You can have a black suit for, any sort of special events, even not a tuxedo. And then you go into a houndstooth. I mean, There are definite sartorial sites, sort of like gentlemen's. I mean, GQ has their thing. I know that. Who is it now? A few other sites that are available that allow you to get into. So you need to get your suit game up. Let's speak about and speak the suits. Believe me, yes. You need to have that. Have that at your disposal. You need to have one suit. One. I would say charcoal gray. Have one suit. And you can wear it any time, any place, no questions asked. And you look good in it. I have 1, 2, 3 that I can move on right now. I would say 4. No, actually 4, 5. I didn't count the other 2. 5. Also, if you need to go out to like a special occasion, you just have a dinner jacket. I have 2 dinner jackets. They can wear black pants. I look like $1 million. You need to have these ready and available so that you look like a man, not like a boy. I was at the Black Diamond Bowl a few weeks ago. That's a special, one of the high-end special soirees here in the city. I saw a few men looking like men and some, I am not going to mention, who look like boys. They look like boys. They paid $165 a ticket and they look like boys. Yes. I will not say who they were, but they're easy enough to pick out. That cannot be you. You need to go in there with a statement saying, I'm a grown man. I paid for a grown ticket. This is my grown date. Don't we look good? Yes, that's what you need to say. You need to have that. Gentlemen, if you want to upgrade yourself, if you want to improve yourself in 2023, get yourself a suit. Some sort of top and bottom. Not just a top and bottom. You can't accuse ladies for not looking good and then you don't do the same. You got to do the same. You got to have your game up. They cannot have any sort of qualm about you if your suit game's up. Suits are like lingerie to us. That's what looks sexy to ladies. That's their lingerie. Their lingeries are suits. What lingerie is to us, suits are to them. Let me say that. Yeah, like that. Duntalk.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for keeping with me. Yes, you need to have your suit game up. At least have one suit that you can call your own. Yes, one. You want to invest in Jordans and hats and all this other stuff that doesn't mean a hill of beans. But one day, at least one day, you're going to go to a wedding. One day, at least one day, you're going to go to a soiree. One day, at least one day, you are going to go to a funeral. One day, at least one day, you're going to go to some sort of high-end night. Are you prepared? A lot of men aren't.
All right, let me make sure. Let me see if there are any questions that came in.
All right, we're going to leave Kevin here. R.I.P. to the Godfather. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. And we're going to go to... Actually, yeah, let's go here. To the 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is a... Let me just stop here for a second. Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, a Canadian psychologist. Used to teach at York University. He lost his tenureship at York because of his views on intersexual relations between men and women, and the fact that some of it could be considered red pill, some of it could be considered red pill, but I don't know what the reason that was for, anyways. But yeah, he is well known in the YouTube space, well known in the male improvement, in the human improvement space. And he has his 12 rules for life. I think we'll go into that right now, and then we're going to get into the stylogy. Let's go quickly.
Rule 1 is stand up straight with your shoulders back. And rule 2 is treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping. And number 3, which is very tightly associated with number 2, they're sort of variations on a theme, is make friends with those people who want the best for you. By the way, these last 2 rules aren't injunctions designed to make your life easier. They're actually injunctions designed to make your life more difficult. Kierkegaard said at one point that his role in life, given that everything was proceeding to become easier and easier in all possible ways, that there would come a time when people would cry out for difficulty. And so that's partly how he envisioned his role in the world, interestingly enough, as a universal benefactor of mankind who would strive to do nothing other than to make life more difficult for everyone. Right? And so rule 2 and 3 are like that, because treat yourself as if you're someone responsible for helping isn't the same as be nice to yourself. It's not that. And to associate with people who want the best for you means that they get to demand the best from you. And that's also not an easy thing. Rule 4 is compare yourself to who you were.
Very key subjects right there. Let me just go back. Let's go back to rule 1 here. Stand up straight with your back, shoulders back. Yeah, you need to have a. Yeah, you need to consider. You need to have good self-esteem about yourself. You need to have a good air about yourself. You need to have a confident air about yourself. And the way to do that is to stand straight up with your shoulders back. Yes, indeed. We need to remind ourselves of that every day. I mean, we tend to slouch, especially in this generation where we're always on our phones. We tend to slouch. It's always good to have your shoulders back. But what helps with that? Being in the gym, because it forces you to build your shoulders. And your shoulders, once they're back, once they see a prominent chest and shoulder area, they know that you have some sort of position of authority, especially in any conversation. So you are one to be reckoned with. Let's continue. Let's move on to number 2. Treat yourself like you're someone. Yes, indeed. Prioritize yourself. Yes, indeed. I mean, you don't have to be selfish about it, but you need to treat yourself like you're someone. Don't treat yourself like you're second class. Treat yourself like you're first class. Have some backbone about you. Yes. Have some backbone about you. And treat yourself like you're one to be reckoned with, like you're one to be respected at the end of the day. And number 3, make friends with those, make friends with those people who only seek the best for you. I believe that's it. There you go. Who want the best for you? Yes. Who want the best for you. So therefore, only seek out those who have your best interest at heart. I think those are key signs. I think that will allow for your circle of friends to be that much greater and for you to succeed in whatever area of life you want to get into.
Life more difficult for everyone. Right? And so rule 2 and 3 are like that, because treat yourself as if you're someone responsible for helping isn't the same as be nice to yourself. It's not that. And to associate with people who want the best for you means that they get to demand the best from you. And that's also not an easy thing. Rule 4 is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And that's an injunction about envy. You need things that are above you, because you need to do something worthwhile with your life. You need something to aim at, but one of the consequences of that is that you can become envious of people that you believe have attained more in a deserved or undeserved manner, and that can make you bitter. And so it's much better to compare yourself to yourself, and to use yourself as the target for improvement and comparison. Rule 5 is don't let your children.
Very key and poignant point there. In that, you need to, self-improve. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Compare yourself to yourself. From yesterday to today, so to show that you are progressing, that you are making strides to make your life and others' lives that much better. So it's all about self-improvement. Well said.
Will do anything that makes you dislike them, and the rule of thumb there is if you dislike them, then other people will. And it's a bad idea to allow your children to act in a way that makes other children dislike them, or adults dislike them, given that they're going to have to deal with children and they're going to have to deal with adults. So your primary responsibility as a parent is to help your child learn how to behave so that the social world opens up its arms to them and welcomes them at every level. And you've done your job if you can manage that, and it's not a simple thing to do. Rule 6 is...
Well said. Again, by Jordan Peterson. That means if you have children, if you are about to have children or have children, rear them in a way that they will be accepted and liked at every point of life, at every level of life. Teach them to have social skills that make them likable. Don't teach them how to be nasty and how to be, vindictive and selfish. But treat them to be as good a person as they can be. Teach them the golden rule. Treat yourself like you want to be treated. Teach them the golden rule.
Put your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. And that's not take no action for others until you have your act together. That isn't what the rule means. It means that bind your ambition with humility and work on what's right in front of you that you will suffer for if you get wrong before you engage in the large-scale transformation of other people. Rule 7 is do what is meaningful.
No, I think that's self-explanatory, and that means get your house in order before you criticize anyone else's. It's hard to do, but I think it's what's necessary. It's necessary to be done. Is that before if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. There it is. Get your own house in order before you can criticize others, and that is difficult for many people. That's one of the hardest rules to learn.
And not what is expedient. And I would say in some sense that's the core ethos of the book. Not exactly, because Rule 8, which is tell the truth or at least don't lie, is a necessary conjunction to that, or necessary additional element. Because I don't think that you can pursue what is meaningful without telling the truth. And the reason for that is if you don't tell the truth, or let's say if you lie, which is an easier way to think about it, you corrupt the mechanisms, the instinctual mechanisms that manifest themselves as meaning, and then you can't trust them. And that's a very bad idea. So the fundamental reason to not lie is because you corrupt your own perceptions if you lie. And when you corrupt your own perceptions, then you can't rely on yourself. And if you can't rely on yourself, then, well, good luck to you. Because what are you going to rely on in the absence of your own judgment? You've got nothing if you lose that. Rule 8 is, as I said, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Rule 9, assume that the person that you're listening to knows something you don't. And that's not so much a mark of respect for the person, although it is that. It's a mark of recognition of your own unbearable ignorance. One of the things you have to do in life, you have to decide what's more important, what you know or what you don't know. First of all, there's a lot of what you don't know. And so, if you make friends with that, if you decide that's important, then, well, that's a good thing, because you're going to be surrounded by what you don't know your entire life. And so, if you're appreciative of that, then that's going to make things go better for you. But the other element of that is, well, why should you be appreciative of what you don't know. And the answer to that is, well, you shouldn't. If your life is absolutely perfect in every way, you have exactly what you need and want, you put everything in order around you, then what you know is sufficient. But if you believe that things could still be put right around you in your own personal life, and with regard to the effect that you have on other people, then obviously what you don't yet know is more important than what you do know, and you should be paying attention to find out what you don't know at every possible moment. And if you're fortunate when you have a conversation with someone and you're actually interested in what they say, then even if they're not very good at communicating, even if they're awkward, or even if they display a certain amount of enmity towards you, there's always the possibility that they might tell you something you don't know, in which case you can walk away from the conversation less ignorant and corrupt than you were when you started the conversation. And if your life isn't everything that you would like it to be, then being slightly less ignorant and corrupt is probably a good thing. And so rule 10 is be precise.
I think that's an excellent rule, and that is always be a student of life. Always keep on learning. Learn something new every day. If you learn something new every day, you'll learn a lot. You'll know a lot well into your later years. Don't be ignorant of what can be said by your friends or those who, I mean, everybody has a story. Everybody knows something that you can learn yourself. So always be open to new areas and avenues of learning. I think that's key as a man. You need to not stop being closed-minded and start listening to others and what they have to say, because, you know, within every lie there's an ounce of truth. Within every theory there's something that can be learned from it, that you can grasp from it. I always try to learn at least one new word per day so that I could use it in my normal speech and my normal speech patterns and my normal conversations every day. So it's always good to keep learning, keep your mind busy, keep your mind refreshed with new ideas so that it betters your life.
In your speech, and that's an observation, I would say, that's a variant of a New Testament injunction, which is, or maybe a description of the nature of the world, which is, knock and the door will open, and ask and you will receive, which is a very strange theory, let's say, but which I would say is far more in accordance with what we know about the psychology of perception, let's say, than you might imagine, because it is the case that you don't get what you don't aim at. You might get what you do aim at, and your aim might get better as you aim as well, which is something to consider. If you specify the nature of the being that you want to bring into being, then you radically increase the probability that that's what will occur. And of course you all know that because you regard yourself, at least to some degree, as active creative agents, right? Your fundamental attitude towards yourself, at least in the manner that you act towards yourself, is that you wake up in the morning and you have a landscape of possibilities that lay themselves open to you, and you make choices between those possibilities and determine in consequence how the world is going to manifest itself. So you confront a field of potential, that's a good way of thinking about it, and through your choices you determine which elements of that potential are going to concretize themselves into the real world. And you are very unhappy with yourself if you don't do that properly, and you're very unhappy with other people if they don't do that properly, and you're very unhappy with other people if they don't treat you like that's what you're like. Because part of what you demand from people, let's say, in terms of sheer civility, is that they act towards you as if you're the locus of voluntary choice in a world of potential. And you upbraid each other for that as well. If you have children and parents, your parents will say to you, if you're fortunate, you're not living up to your potential, which is actually a compliment in a sense.
Yes, we're just going to continue this into part 2 of Male Improvement 2023. What needs to be done by us males in order to succeed and conquer 2023. We'll be back. And if you're still with me on YouTube, sorry, I'm just setting up for part 2 of Talk Live here. Here we go. We've finally got our way, and we're going to get into part 2 right now. There we go. And as we continue here on Talk Live, thank you for joining me on Talk Live for part 2 of Mail Improvement for 2023. And we will move forward with what we heard from Jordan Peterson in terms of the 12 rules for life in 12 minutes. Yes.
Even though it's also a judgment, and the compliment is, I know perfectly well that you could be more than you are, and you'll hang your head if you have any sense, and you'll think like you think in relationship to your own conscience that yes, I have a lot of potential that I'm not fully realizing, and that actually constitutes a transgression against the good. And I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't believe that. If you have a reasonable conversation with them, it just seems self-evident. I mean, maybe now and then you meet someone who's narcissistically self-satisfied, but then they're narcissistic, and that's not good. That as a medium to long-term strategy, that's a catastrophe. That ends in disaster. You know, it's a short-term, it protects people, but long-term, it's not good in the least. And of course, other people don't appreciate it as well. Rule 11 is don't bother children when they're skateboarding, and that's actually a discussion of courage, of encouragement.
Let's just go back to that original rule, and let's just do this quickly here. That went a little long. Yes, we're just trying to find. Let me see here. Here we go. Yes, be precise in your speech. And although he wasn't very precise in his speech there, because that was a bit long-winded. But yes, you want to be short, sharp, and to the point. A lot of people will see you as a great speaker if you are short, sharp, and to the point, and not very, very long-winded in your answers and such. So especially on things like interviews and such, and especially if people are asking questions of you, you want to get it short, sharp, to the point, so that people can retain what you have to say and find meaning with what you have to say. So let's move on to part 11 here.
Children when they're skateboarding, and that's actually a discussion of courage, of encouragement, more specifically, because I've been trying to understand, for example, what role parents play in the lives of their children, and I would say this is a role that is of fundamental importance, as well as attempting to guide your children so that they act in a socially desirable manner, so that the world opens itself up to them. You also want to encourage them, which is not the same as sheltering them. It's not the same at all. And to encourage someone is to say something like, or to act out something like, look, kid, the world's already difficult, because the world isn't easy for children any more than it's easy for adults. The difficulties they're not the same. They're child-sized difficulties, but they're still difficulties. The world is a very hard place, and it's a bitter place in many ways. And it's not only a hard and bitter place, it's also touched with betrayal and malevolence, and that's the fundamental bottom line. But there's something in you that is capable of taking that full on and transcending it, and that's encouragement. You say, well, as difficult as things are, you're up to the challenge. And to interfere with children when they're skateboarding, for example, when they're doing, let's say, inadvisably dangerous things, which kids of course do if they're skateboarding, to interfere with that is to interfere with the the child's willingness to voluntarily expose themselves to the risks that they need to expose themselves to in order to develop the sort of competence that allows them to thrive in a world they cannot be sheltered from. And so to interfere with children when they're taking necessary risks is not love or empathy, but cowardice on the part of parents. And it's deeply damaging to children. And I can tell you, as a clinical psychologist, I've never had a client come to my office in all the hundreds of encounters I've had with people in my office. I've never had a client say, my parents made me too independent. That hasn't happened once. Right now, my parents made me too dependent, or I conspired with my parents to perpetuate my dependence. That happened all the time. So there's a rule of thumb, which I think is a good one, which I believe is often applied in nursing homes by people who work in nursing homes, which is of course a very difficult job. And the rule is, do not do anything for anyone they can do for themselves. And the reason for that is that it's a form of theft. Rule 12 is pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. And it's oddly enough.
Again, very good rule 11, and that is, especially when it comes to male children, you want to establish them within them a form of risk, a form of chance taking, a form of you don't want them being risk averse. You want them to be a risk taker, because usually those who survive and who thrive in society are those who are risk takers. So you don't want to stifle that when they're in their adolescence. You want them, to stand out as people who love taking, who can take risks, and who are willing to fail and to succeed as well. So again, very good point to be made there. You don't want, as the rule said, you don't want to stop children when they're skateboarding, because that's a form of risk they're taking. They're learning how to rise and fall and get up again, and that is something that not only good for males but for females, but definitely males, because males tend to be risk takers, and if you give them a form of independence, they will take it, and also allow them to thrive on their own, that they will learn from it, and they'll be better people for it. And so we need to allow our boys to become men by allowing them to take risks and allowing them to find their feet, and allow them to set sail and embark on new adventures that will automatically make them better men.
A meditation on fragility. It's a discussion of what you do when you don't know what to do, and that's really when things have gone badly for you, when you face a terrible tragedy in your own personal life, or in your familial life, or perhaps even in the life of your community, when things come crowding in at you too quickly. In the case of a death in the family, or a terrible illness, or the collapse of a dream, or any of the things that can flip your world upside down, is how do you cope with that? And that chapter contains discussion of the necessity of narrowing your time frame, because sometimes the right way to look at the world is across years, and sometimes it's across months, and when things are more out of control, perhaps it's across days, and when you're really up against the wall, it's across hours or even minutes. And during those minutes, then you concentrate on doing as well as you can with what's right in front of you for the longest unit of time that you can tolerate. Conceptualize it. Maybe that's what you do at someone's deathbed, and while you're doing that and suffering away madly, then you also take the time to appreciate everything you can that manifests itself, that allows itself to be appreciated. And so that's the metaphor of the cat, I suppose.
This video is sponsored by Blinkist.
Very well said there by Jordan Peterson. The 12 rules for life. Again, the last one, pet a cat. Again, I think that speaks for itself. I don't need to say anything more about that. And we all need to realize that life is fragile, and We need to do what we can within it in order to make the best for ourselves. So let's move on quickly to. But thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan Peterson. Again, he's all over YouTube. Look him up. He's all over clinical psychology text. Period. And he's one of the more well-known thinkers of our time. And it is unfortunately that he had to go through his fight for his tenureship at York University. He lost that because, again, a few choice words about intersexual relations that, made him an outcast within the community, which is totally uncalled for. But again, let's move on to the Style OG as we finish up our. Let's just stop there for a second. Thank you, Style OG. I appreciate you jumping on a bit early here. But it's 10 ways to improve as a man. 10 easy ways to improve as a man. So, again, let me just move on here out of the intro. And we'll start off a little bit later. And we'll get things started right here. Because, again, he usually does his introductions. Do subscribe to the Style OG. This is a medical doctor who we had featured on the Kevin Samuels retrospective because he was a friend of Kevin's. And he knew him well and considered him a friend, considered him a role model, and considered him a confidant as well. So again, R.I.P. to the Godfather, and let us listen to the Style OG. He has a few things on how to improve as a man in 10 easy ways. Let's go.
But I believe is one of the most important tips, especially for today's modern man. First of all, be okay with being a man. Embrace your masculinity. Step into your masculinity. Embrace being a protector, a provider, a gentleman. Take pride in being a man. I believe there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. What is that? Yes, there are obnoxious men, crude men, misogynistic men. But this has nothing to do with inherently being masculine. Embrace your masculinity. Be strong and kind. Be assertive and not aggressive. If you want to improve as a man, first you have to embrace being a man. Another way you definitely can.
No truer words are said. We have this male hate that's going on these days, and it is a bit much, seeing as it is those men who build the developed society we live in today, that have made society as easy and as convenient as it is today. A society that lacks wars, a society that is at its greatest state in human history. Men built that. So for any person to deny that or to besmirch that or to ridicule that, you are rich. Take pride in being a man, gentlemen. If you're on the road to being a man, take pride in that as well. There should be no shame in being a man these days. None. None, none, none. Especially with what we have achieved in human history, which is most of human history. And that should not be ashamed of. We should not shirk that responsibility. We should not shirk that recognition.
Improve as a man. Take what's often seen as a negative connotation and make it a positive one. I think you should be more selfish. Here's what I mean. If you know you need to and want to improve, the first thing you need to do is to be purpose-driven. Have an overarching goal. Have a goal or goals that as you work to them, it improves your life and improves you as a man. You need to have a reason to wake up every morning. Men, we're action people. We're doers. And when you have a purpose that you're working towards, not only does it improve you and your life, it enhances the life of the people you interact with. The better man you become, the more you can have a positive effect on your friends, family, and co-workers. I believe your purpose should come first, before others, before women. One of the best ways you can improve as a man, be.
Yeah, you need to have a goal. You need to have a drive. You need to have a purpose. You need to have some sort of raison d'être, a reason to be. Something that gets you up in the morning, something that will allow you to strive for greatness, allow you to strive for manhood, allow you to strive for your best self. That goes without saying, yes. If you don't have that, work towards it. He's absolutely correct. Well said by the Style OG there. Men must have a purpose to get up in the morning. Men must have a goal to strive for. Whether it's losing weight, getting more in your job, changing your career, establishing a business, growing your business, anything. Buying a house, buying a car, anything. You should have a reason to be. Especially in a society that allows for such things. And you need to take full advantage of that while you are young and while you are capable of doing so.
More selfish. Being as though this is a style channel, this next tip is near and dear to my heart. You want to improve as a man, dress to impress, and be well groomed. Now you might think I want you to be fly just for fly's sake. That's definitely not the case. The reason why I believe you should be well dressed and well groomed, your personal brand in today's modern world is very important. Your personal brand starts with your image, how you present yourself. When a person first sees you or meets you, they make an instant judgment about you by how you're dressed and how you carry yourself. Now why not take advantage of that fact and control your own narrative by dressing well, presenting the image you want to put out to the world. And that doesn't mean you have to be suited or booted or a streetwear guy. Do the best version of your style personality. And also keep in mind, no matter how well dressed you are, the finishing touches, make sure you're always well groomed. If you want to control your narrative and take charge of how the world sees you, make sure you're well dressed and well groomed. Speaking of being well,
We have already explained that in the Kevin Samuel sequence. Yes, you need to be well groomed. That means not only your head, but also your nether region. You need to be groomed in that area. You got to show that you at least upkeep yourself in a good and keep yourself in a good state, in good nick going forward, but also making sure that, you're at the barber at least, once or twice a month. At least once or twice a month. That you have a set of clothing that shows that you are contemporary, that you are with the times, that you are agile for any occasion. How many guys are so mismatched especially in the haberdashery, and especially in the clothing department? It's stifling. It's mind-boggling, and we are adults. Men, yes, indeed, you can keep certain types of streetwear, keep certain type of leisure wear. However, you need to have some sort of formal wear with it. You got to show that you've grown as a human being into a man. And part of that is having clothes that match your manhood. Overcoats, suits, shoes, shoe game, fragrances, accessories, like, as we explained in the last show, aviators. These are all part of the style game. You need to dress with your age, not your shoe size.
well groomed, let me take a little time to talk about today's video sponsor, Brio, and their outstanding beard
Oh.
trimmer, and the one I use.
Let us move on from here, because he is
Description and order your version 2 of the Beardscape for your purpose, even above women, will help you improve as a man. And one of the ways you do that, you don't chase women, you pursue them. There's a difference. Let's not pretend that we don't want women in our life, but how you go about securing one is important. Don't chase women. Remember, things being chased usually don't want to be caught. You waste a lot of time letting your life revolve around chasing women. Yes, you should put time and effort into women, but at a limit. Identify the woman you want and pursue her. Let her know you're interested and see if it's reciprocal. If so, proceed. If not, move on. Don't fall into these cat and mouse back and forth games. If a woman's interested, she'll let you know in subtle and not so subtle ways. No, I don't want you sitting back waiting for the woman of your dreams to fall into your lap. It doesn't work like that. You're a man. You pursue. But pursue, don't chase. Now, if you want to improve as a man, you have
Let's discuss that quickly. Gentlemen, you want to pursue, but don't chase. He's right. Meaning, you want to put a limit on how you court a woman. If you know it's going no, and that means you should have a budget on what you spend on women. It's true. What you spend on women, you need to have a budget. So therefore, I would say around 500. I can go as high as 750, but I would say at first maximum $500. If you cannot charm a woman with $500 at your disposal, then you're being simped and you're being taken for a ride. And women will say, "Oh, I need more time to get to know you." No. That's them dragging you on. They should be able to know you within a 3-date span. If they want to if they want to keep knowing you, or to that effect, they can. But there's a certain exchange that needs to be had. There's certain things that need to be done. But you don't want them wasting your time, because time is precious to any man. To any man, time is precious. So therefore, you should have a limit in what you spend on dates. You should have a time limit on what you spend with a woman in terms of courting her. It should not. If a woman wants to pursue you, if a woman wants to get to know you better, believe me, there are signs that they will. And if they keep dragging it out for you to have that time with a woman, then it's not worth it. Walk away. Move on to somebody else, because they're wasting your time. They're wasting your time. They're wasting your resources, which is exactly what they're here to do. They are here to extract your resources. Sometimes you got to take a stand. Firm but fair. And say, you know what? This is not going anywhere. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to move on. Because if a woman really wants you, you'll know it. You will truly know it. And it doesn't take long for you to want to know more about a woman and for her to want to know more about you. And quite simply, it should not be more than $500. I've always had this $500 rule to know a woman. If you spend any more than that, gentlemen, you're being taken for a ride. You are in the friend zone. They see you as a simp, and quite simply, they're seeing how much money they can get out of you. Stop it and move on. Stop it and move on. No doubt about that. Just move on. And if they're saying, as I said again, that they just want to get to know you and they want to get to know you better, no. That's a way for them to string you along and have you paying more for their time. You don't have that time. What they see is what they get. And if they don't like what they see, you can move on. There are more fish in the sea, gentlemen. There are more fish in the sea. Let's move.
You have to resist the urge of being complacent. You have to continuously evolve, adapt, and get better. One of the ways you do that, always expand your knowledge base. In this ever-evolving world, you have to make sure you're always adding to your proverbial toolbox. Adding new tools or sharpening the ones you already have. A few of the best ways to do that, make sure you're consistently reading. I don't care if it's fiction or non-fiction. Reading improves your vocabulary, your knowledge base, and it helps you with your critical thinking. Not only should you read, you should be studying as well, and if you can, practice a trade and take the time to add to your life new interests and hobbies. If you want to improve as a man, one of the best ways you can do that, increase your knowledge base. Now, next up is a tip.
We have already discussed that through Jordan Peterson. We've already discussed that through Kevin. Through the Godfather himself. You never stop learning, guys. Never stop learning. Be a student of life itself. Pick up a trade, pick up some sort of self-defense, be reading, be always learning. Always always trying to broaden your knowledge base. Because it makes you more interesting. It just does. It simply does. Women find men more interesting who have a wide span of knowledge. If they're a protector, a provider, and a prophet, part of being a prophet is having a wider knowledge of things. Take, for instance, having a knowledge of wine. Not having sommelier's knowledge of wine, but at least a good knowledge of wine that you can educate women on that. I'm doing that right now. And guess what? It works wonders, especially with the ladies. If you can tell them which Moscato, which Riesling, which Cabernet Sauvignon they wish to sample at any place in time, any Merlot any place in time, believe me, it's knowledge that you can use in your daily life, and you need to expand that knowledge over time. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We are sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring Stubborn line out now, as I'm wearing some of their samples at the moment. And I thank you for joining me. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, and comment. Let's continue.
You'll often hear me sharing this channel, and I believe it's very apropos for today's video. You want to improve as a man? Learn to say no. Learning to say no is very important because it allows you to put up boundaries in your life, and it makes those in your life respect said boundaries. Saying no allows you to choose where and who you put your time and energy into. You get to decide what and how much you do for others. It allows you to be kind and not nice. There's a difference. A kind man is generous, considerate, and compassionate, but he does it at a level that he's comfortable with. And when he reaches that level, he says no. As a man, your needs and desires shouldn't be taking a back seat to others. Learning to say no allows you to give to those who deserve it on your terms, which leads very nicely to my next tip.
Didn't we discuss earlier about having a limit and in terms of ladies, in terms of dating, you need to set boundaries, say no to these ladies, have a budget, stick to it, and if they go over the budget, you can move on. We already talked about that earlier. This leans into that. You have to, at certain times you got to say no. Certain times you need your space. Certain times you need to be respected for your decisions. And part of that, a good example of that is in the dating market. If a woman cannot accept what you've already dealt out, now you don't want to be cheap, but if you spend that good $500 to $750 on a woman and she still does not want anything to do with you, move on. Say no. Don't be simped out. Do not be a victim to womanhood in this instance. Don't be desperate. You got to set limits and boundaries for yourself. That's the only way you're to be respected. A woman's got to respect a man's decision in these instances. You got to learn to say no. Sometimes you got to not go to the ends of the earth to impress people. Not be a simp, as they say. You got to learn to say no. You got to have boundaries. You got to have limits. You got to have a point of no return. Especially in the dating market. Absolutely.
I firmly believe, as a man, you shouldn't always avoid conflict. In fact, sometimes you have to step into it. You see, as a man, you're not always going to agree with other people. That's not realistic. When you firmly believe in something, you have to have the ability to stand on your square, to stand up for yourself. You need to be able to disagree. Disagree and not argue. When you disagree, you listen to other people's point of view, but you make sure your point of view is heard as well. Resolve conflict by being assertive, not aggressive. As a man, especially if you're a leader, sometimes you're going to have to make tough decisions. They don't always want to involve a consensus. And as men, you have to have the ability to have a conflict, shake your hand, and be friends again the next day. You You want to improve your life as a man? Don't be afraid. Conflict. Now, next up is
Very good point. You got to be able to agree to disagree. Sometimes you have certain points of view that you believe wholeheartedly, as long as it doesn't involve hate, as long as it doesn't involve death, doesn't involve anything of that drastic nature. You have to be able to stand your ground and argue your point. I think that's how most men are respected. As long as you're not a contrarian to a certain part, which means disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing. If you have certain strident views, you must be able to stick to them and not be wishy-washy on things. You have to be able to take a stand on certain issues. Yes, goes without saying. And be honorable enough to agree and disagree. That's about, that's what civil discourse is all about. What civil disobedience is all about. And that is the great thing about a democracy and a free nation, is that we are able to agree to disagree. And if you hold true to a certain concept, you should be able to discuss said ideas and come to a amicable conclusion.
the tip I believe is very vital if you want to improve. If you want to be a better man, you have to have the ability to learn from your mistakes. Now, hopefully, you're on the path to being the best man you can be. And along that path of success will be failure. You're going to hit some bumps in the road. It's inevitable. But the key is, do you learn from your mistakes? That's how you improve as a man. How do you learn from your mistakes? First, acknowledge the mistake. Then after you acknowledge the mistake, analyze the mistake and see if you can figure out what went wrong. After you figure out what went wrong, figure out the lesson you can learn from said mistake. And then after learning that lesson, make sure you apply that lesson as you go forward in life. Because as the cliche goes, there's two possible outcomes. Either you win or you learn. And the very important ingredient in the ability to learn from your mistakes is this next tip. If you want to
Again, learn from your mistakes. That's a rule for everyone, including men. But yes, you must be able to live and learn, and to understand where you went wrong, and try and rectify it in a good amount of time. Yes, goes without saying. I think that is not only good for men, but also for humanity at large.
improve, you have to have the ability to hold yourself accountable. As a man, you have to be responsible for what you do. You can't be a complainer. You can't shift blame. Everything that happens in your life that's bad isn't the outside world's fault. You can only improve by acknowledging your mistakes. You do this by taking accountability. A man who's improving, a real man, doesn't make excuses. You want to improve as a man, you can't have a problem apologizing when it's called for. You have to have the ability to say, hey, that was my fault, my bad. Because a real man who's improving doesn't shift responsibility. The buck stops with him. And one of the ways to hold yourself accountable is implementing this next tip.
Here's the one thing that separates men from ladies, and girls from boys, is that men in this lifetime have to be accountable for their actions. The world will hold them accountable. For ladies, they can get away. There is a problem with accountability. They can get away with accountability. I mean, certain ladies don't, but for the most part, a lot of ladies skirt on being accountable. That's one thing a man can't do. A man must know when he is wrong and apologize for that wrong. Women can get away with that, literally. And that's what separates men from women. I think that's what makes, to a certain extent, even though we are equals, what makes men better than women is the fact that we take accountability for our actions. Women have a hard time being accountable. Definitely a hard time. That's where the separation, but that's what happens when a woman is born with value and a man is not. A man has to make his own value. And with that, our value is made not only in our strides and victories, but also in our errors and our mistakes. And once there is a mistake made, then you have to be accountable for it. So accountability is very, very much key, especially with gentlemen. Yes, indeed.
Make sure you're always a man of your word. It's vitally important that a man, especially an improving man, says what he means and means what he says. If you promise something, make sure you can deliver. It's very important that people can depend on you, rely on you. You want to be a man of respect. You do that by making sure your word is your bond. And on the flip side, you want to incorporate the other tip we talked about earlier. If you can't or don't want to do something, say no. If you want to improve as a man, don't lie, don't exaggerate, don't embellish. Say what you mean what you say. Be a man who keeps his word. Now, this ever
Again, another thing that separates men from women to a certain extent. I mean, a lot of women are indeed, ones who say what they mean what they say, but a lot of them aren't. I say the majority aren't. A lot of, a good amount aren't. I would say the majority aren't. But it's a very, very small majority, but the majority aren't very much, true to their word. Take it like a man, be a man. These sort of things means you have to be accountable, number one. And number two, you have to mean what you say and say what you mean. So therefore, you have to be responsible and say, you know what? If I promise to do something, I get it done. Your word is your bond as a man. As a man, it is. Women can get away with that. A lot of women, mean well and do as well as that, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them have a get out of jail free card in that instance. The same thing as being accountable. And that's one thing men cannot be, especially if they want to make their name in the world. They have to be, they need to have their word as their bond. They need to mean what they say and say what they mean. That's the only way you get ahead in this world.
evolving and changing world, as a man, you can't remain stagnant. If you do, you'll get left behind. You have to make sure you're doing whatever you have to do to improve as a man. And I believe if you pay attention to the tips we talked about in today's video, you'll be well on your way to being the best version of yourself. Now, as always, I love to have your input.
Well said too by the Style OG. Like, subscribe, comment to the Style OG. I think he has excellent content. He's been around for many a year, and I enjoy listening to his content myself. So do like and subscribe to the Style OG, friend of the late great Kevin Samuels. So let us move on out to the full count. Let's get a synopsis of things. All right. Yes, here it is. So again, we've learned a lot from three, I say, leaders of manhood that we have today, and that is Kevin Samuels, Style OG, and Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson. And it's important that not only you get it right in your life and in your ambitions and in your goals and in your word and in your accountability, and not only that, you try to improve yourself in terms of being holistic in your outlook on life and how you pursue things and how you treat others and rear others, but also how you get it right within your home environment. Creating an environment that's inviting not only to yourself, but to the people you care about and want to care about. And we've learned a lot today as a man, because being a man is not just going out working, coming back home, and being accountable and paying bills and such. You need to self-improve. You need to Mean what you say what you mean. Say no. Be accountable. Do all these different things. And it's hard being a man these days. It's very, very much difficult. Especially when all is not promised and you have to build yourself as a man in today's world. There are no free lunches with men. There are no free lunches. You either do or you die. We're not born with value. Women are, not men. So therefore, it takes you as a man to build yourself to the best man you can be. Either through sense, either through style, either through cleanliness, either through cooking and grooming and also furnishing and haberdashery, but also in your outlook on life and how you carry yourself and how accountable you are. All these different things make you into the man you are, today. Into the modern man that you can be today. There are so many things that one can learn as a man to be a man, and it is hoped the last 2 days have made you think, given you pause as to what it takes to be a man and how to improve to be a better man. And I did this because I think even though, times are hard and 1 out of 3 men are either virgins or have not had sex in a year, the fact of the matter is that to increase those chances, to increase your style and increase your activities in life and how you live your life, there are certain steps of improvement that you need to make. You need to learn more, you need to do more, you need to act right, be decisive, be accountable, learn to say no, set boundaries, do all the necessary things to be a man. Risk take. Sooner or later, one has to take a risk in order to improve themselves. And all these things make you a better man. And we all need to improve as men. Lord knows there are a lot of men who are either checking out or giving up. You as a man or a man in training cannot give up. You can't give up. The moment you give up, then they've won. Your fears, your critics, your detractors, they've won. And you want to win. So every day you get up, every day you go to work, every day you try to better yourself, better your life, better your surroundings, better your wardrobe, better your decision making, better your self-esteem, better all these things, and better your physique. All these things make you better men. And all we ask that you do is take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Become that better man you want to be. And other people will see that too, including those you wish to care about. And that is those ladies out there who you hope will be that special someone for you. But not only to yourself, but to your family too. Be that man that your family and your future are proud of. And that's all that can be asked of you. Self-improvement is key, but that self-improvement starts with you. So every day, read a book, learn something new, get into shape, shake fears. If you need therapy, get it. And take those steps towards improving yourself so that you can be one of life's winners. Because we can all win. We can all win as long as we try to improve day by day by day. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk the Talk live. live on IG and YouTube. We're going to get out of here today, where we'll be back next week with another set around the shows. I don't know if I'm going to light ladies on fire, but it seems those are the ones that usually get me the ratings. But I thought today I'd take time out to have us men just take stock and realize that we have some improving to do in certain respects, and it's incumbent upon us to do them. So I thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're going to get out of here, and I thank you for joining me, and we look forward to more thought-provoking topics next week as we finish male improvement days for men. And again, it is hoped that if you have any ways to improve yourself as a man, hey, like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know how you would improve as a man as well. And I thank you very much for joining me. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. New spring-summer line out now. And I appreciate you joining me tonight. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. It is spring. Get out there and enjoy yourself. I know I've got a few functions that I'm going to as well. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And thank you for joining me on Talk Live. All right? On live on IG and YouTube. And we're going to say simultaneously good night from Toronto. But we'll be back on Sunday. We'll be throwing up, again, this week I want to throw up some new... I have yet to throw up this short that I have still in the holster, but I am aiming to do it this weekend. That's one thing I'm going to improve on this weekend. Get some more shorts out, get some more content out, so that people can discover this channel more, and we can bring some more people in and live in the conversation. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight. Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and spring summer line out now. Good night from Toronto. Thank you to my YouTube audience, and we're going to get out of here, and I wish you a great weekend. I know I have a few things on and popping. If you're at Aries Gold, come and say hello, and again, I thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight, and we'll be back again. I have certain improvements to make. I'm still going to make those improvements, but again, I'm not giving up trying. I hope you don't give up, you gentlemen as well. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Good night.